Welcome everybody to Building Games with the Discord Social SDK in Unity. I'm Anthony. I do developer relations at Discord, and that means that I'm kind of like the glue between our internal developers and external developers. So we have all sorts of like APIs and SDKs that we put out, and I help like write documentation. I help use them. I help bring feedback from external developers back to our team, and really make sure that what we're building is like polished and beautiful for other people to use. And part of that is also making samples. So one of the samples that I made we'll be taking a look at today. And then if y'all aren't familiar with the Discord Social SDK, this is something we released this year. So it brings sort of the power of Discord, chat, voice chat, all that into your game. So it's an SDK we have Unity, C++, and Unreal versions. And it brings all sorts of features from Unity into your game. So that could be things like rich presence, invites, rich presence being like if you're familiar with Discord and you play a game, you see sometimes in people's profiles like, oh, they've been playing this game and this is for how long and what part of the game they're in. So you can actually do rich presence through the Discord Social SDK. We do invites, lobbies, chat, voice chat. All of those things are just like ready to go through the Social SDK, and it's all free. Also, today we'll be building with the Unity flavor of the Social SDK. But yeah, we also have Unreal, C++, all, I think, cross-platform, across mobile, desktop, PlayStation, and Xbox. And then a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to show you basically how you go about setting up like a Discord application, which allows you to get access to the Social SDK. We'll take a look at the sample that I mentioned, and then actually configure the Social SDK in that. And then we'll easily connect rich presence, friends list, and we'll actually do some like technical like building out direct messaging in Unity. And then one more thing I want to mention before we jump into it. So one of the reasons that the Social SDK is so powerful is it helps leverage like discoverability in, it leverages Discord for like discoverability, and that's been like something that's very tough for developers when there's hundreds of games being released a day. So big part of why we released this is it helps you really power like the games that you're building with Discord. Cool. So let's hop into, first off, I'll show you how to create an application. And so we have this website, discord.com/developers, and this is where you would actually go to build, it has all of our documentation, but this is where you would go to start building like any applications through Discord. An application can be a handful of things. Activities, if you're familiar with them, those are games that you actually run in Discord. So they're multiplayer experiences that you can run through, like voice chat. Play with your friends within Discord. We've got like bots and apps, so it allows you to like extend the power of Discord like within Discord, so you can write bots that do all sorts of things, moderation and stuff in your servers. And then the Social SDK, which is brand new, kind of what we talked about a little bit. You can actually create an application that does one or all of these things, and so you could leverage, make a game that has a bot that sits in your server that is related to the game and talks about like things that are happening in your game in the server itself. So that's just a really cool way of doing that. The way you go about it. Oh, and then also if you have a Discord account, this is all just like available to you. So that's all you need. You just go to discord.com/developers, come up here, hit new application. I'm going to name this, I forget how many test apps I've got, but a new test app. And we clicked too many times. I am human. There we go. So this is sort of where you would name your application. There's a lot of settings in here. What we're mostly interested in today is this getting started for the Social SDK. I'm going to put in a fake email. And that's all you really need to do to get access to the Social SDK. If you want to tell us more about your company there too, we actually like reach out and, especially if you're building like multiplayer games and stuff, we'd love to know what people are building with the Social SDK. So here you get access to the documentation and the downloads. And this is where you'll see the different forms of the SDK. So we got C++, Unity, and Unreal. We also have these two samples that are not super like UI based. They're just very fully featured in like anything you can do with the social SDK is like sort of built in them, ready to go to play around with from a code perspective. The other thing I want to note is this application ID right up here is what we'll use to actually hook up the social SDK or the game to social SDK. The next thing I want to show is the sample that we're going to be using. So I built and put out this sample that sort of follows our best practices around UI, and it creates these really easy to use prefabs in Unity. So this whole like friends list on the right here, we'll look at this later, but you can literally drag and drop that prefab in, and it's like ready to go with friends in your game. And then all the like setup instructions and stuff are here. So we'll hop into Unity now. So I kind of have some of these things already set up, but in Unity, we're going to, and this is the sample. So I've got these prefabs here. This Discord manager is the thing that's going to handle all of the OAuth and authentication to Discord for you. The social SDK does a lot of this for you. And then this is like a nice wrapper that I built around it that handles all of the like error states. If somebody decides not to authenticate or, any sort of network error happens along the way. And then the only other thing we need is something to start the OAuth process, which is a button. And we also have this nice UI button that's like styled already the way that we want people to style it for you. Dragging and dropping those in is all you really need to do. The last thing, so I talked about that application ID. There's a scriptable object that we created just for this sample. It literally is just like a string that holds the application ID. The reason I did that is I didn't want people checking this in to source control, and so it's just get ignored. So really you only need the actual like string itself. But actually you can see that here. So here's the where you would like paste that in. So on the Discord manager, I have the other one, this one set up already. I'm just going to drag this in and we'll hit play. And down here, we'll hit connect to Discord. And you'll see it actually jumps out into Discord itself. If they don't have Discord open or on their machine, it'll actually open the web browser to start the OAuth process. And then we'll come back here. Right now, we don't really have anything in the scene, but you can see down here, connected, connecting, ready. So that ready state is super important. That means social SDK is authenticated. We're ready to go. You can kind of use all of the features of the social SDK now. So we'll look at that now with rich presence. So if we go back here and drag and drop rich presence in, and then you'll see over here, this rich presence you can kind of set at any point in your game. So like, you've probably seen this with like Overwatch, right? Where you have people playing the game and they're like either in a lobby or in a match. You can expose those types of like details about what they're doing in your game through rich presence. This prefab is set up right now to, when we get that ready state, immediately set the rich presence to what's in here. And then it also has a few nice, where's the code? A few nice like wrappers around setting rich presence. So if you have like lobbies set up, or if you just want to set the details of what they're doing, we've got a couple of functions for that. But now you'll see if I run it one more time, we'll connect. And then come back here. So now if I look back in Discord, you'll see the name, so Unity Social SDK, and the icon come from that application that we set up earlier, and then just the state that we set initially. So creating a game in Unity. So you could change that super easily programmatically. We could go back and change it in the inspector if we wanted to. Another thing to note is you'll see me authenticating each time here. You don't actually have to do that. We do give you like a refresh token, so the user doesn't have to like keep authenticating. It's usually just like one click, but because I switch accounts, I like to like re-authenticate because I'm on like a test account, and then I've got other accounts that I'm testing things with. So cool. So that's rich presence. Friends list also very similar. We'll just drag and drop this prefab in, and you'll see Right over here, we've got the friends list on the side. It's already kind of like styled how we like. And again, like these are just sort of like guidelines too. Like we want it to like look beautiful for you. You could easily just like take this and we don't have like very strict, like you need it to look like this. You could totally skin this however you want for your game. But you'll see here now, all those same friends show up. We've got collapsible sections. One of the things that we like people to do is to differentiate between in-game, online, offline. So I just, on my phone, you'll saw my name jump up there. I just turned on and went onto Discord. So it also, like the prefab itself automatically will move people around correctly, sort them properly, and it just sort of handles all of that for you. The social SDK gives you like really nice ways to grab friends in those 3 lists, in-game, online, offline, but like the actual handling of the UI, where we're not creating and destroying objects, we're sorting it all properly, is all done sort of in this sample for you. And also, again, if you want to like download and use this thing, it's all of these are like commercially usable for free. All right, so now we'll dive into some more technical. We'll actually create DMs. And so basically, we want to be able to like open a DM with a user and then like chat with them somehow through the game. The cool thing in the social SDK is that means that it actually, you can have it like be all in-game, but it also goes into Discord. So you can actually open DMs, you can create lobbies and chats that persist not only in-game, but work in Discord too. So you can have people like communicating across your game and Discord. So I have this, where is it? This kind of like shell prefab right now. All it is just a little bit of UI. We've got the user's name and avatar and like a little area for some chat and like a text input. All of this, we don't have any like third-party special libraries in here aside from the social SDK. It's all like Unity's default UI. So it's as you'd expect, like, you know, input field and like a little text area, text mesh pro area. Okay, so let's look at the code. And I have a little structure set up already. The way this works, so I don't know if you noticed, as you like hover over people's profiles, I had like a little button already there to like open a DM. All that does is basically finds this direct messaging object and opens it. Normally I would do like some sort of messaging system here, but because I didn't want to bring in any like third-party things, we're just doing like a find first object by type. Not like super scalable in like huge games, but for our purposes, it's a quick and easy, and it'll work. So you'll see that actually will, when you click on it, will open the direct message, and then it has an idea of that like friend UI piece, which has a relationship handle in it. Relationship handle in the social SDK is a up-to-date version of your relationship with the person that, like, you know, in the UI there. It's the up-to-date like version of that relationship between you and them, whether you're friends, whether their status is online, away, all those things are automatically updated. So as long as you hold on to that reference, it automatically updates. So this is how we're going to get a lot of the information we need. So in Open Direct Message, we're going to want to first off populate that name and avatar. And then one more thing too is on start, I'm probably going to want to hide this UI until we actually have somebody we're talking to. So let's do that. This DM panel is, oops, let me turn off quick completions too. I don't want that. So this DM panel is basically just this whole panel right here, this direct message panel. And we'll set up those inspector references in a second. So we're going to turn this guy off. And then when we actually click direct message, that's when we know, oh, we want to like talk to somebody, turn it back on. And then we're going to want to set the username.text to the relationship handle user display name. So this is the name that they sort of prefer or that they've like given themselves on Discord. And then we also, I have this little snippet down here I didn't want to like write this live, but it's just a Unity web request to get their avatar because it's on like a CDN and we need to like pull that down. And so I'm just going to start the coroutine that's going to do that. And the URL for it is going to be similarly at the relationship handle user.avatar URL. Avatar URL, this part is a little interesting. So, oops. In Discord, users can have like GIFs as their avatar. They can have like different style of images. So you can request those in different ways here. I think Unity's like default image sprite only handles PNG. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it as a PNG. And do I want too many brackets? I do. Cool. So I think this should now, when we click on different users, load them in here. Let's hook up those inspector references really quick. Oh, and actually, let's put the script on here too. So we've got the chats. Image and VNA. All right, let's try running it and hopefully it works. All right, so now you'll see as I'm scrolling over, this little chat bubble will show up and I can click it. And it looks like as I click different people's names, it grabs them. So it looks like there's, just because the internet's in here is a little slow, you could probably cache these two and make it so that it would, immediately update. Would be something nice that we could do, but we won't do that for now. So next thing we want to do is like basically just send a message, right? We want to hook into this text area and activate some function that's going to send that message. So let's create that. One thing that we're going to need access to is the Discord social SDK client. And so, oops, let's do. And then we're also going to need to keep track of who we're currently talking to. So I'm going to hold a reference to that relationship handle. So, oops. So here I'm going to save this. Actually. And then the client. So the client is actually the way that we interact completely with the Discord social SDK. So everything you can do basically goes through the client. There's all sorts of callbacks you can get. I'll show you one of those in a second. But the way we grab it, so that Discord manager currently is the way that we hold on to the client. And so that I kind of created it as a singleton just because we might want to like access this in like a lot of different places. So we're going to grab the instance and get the clients. And then, yeah, this is one of those things where like, however you feel comfortable about like holding on to that reference to the client, you only need the one client once you're authenticated. That's how you do everything. This is just the way we've got it set up in this sample. It makes it kind of easy to like grab. And then sending a DM is as easy as send user message. So a couple of things that we need are the ID of the recipient. So that's going to come from this relationship handle. Oops, I just realized I have a 1 at the end of that. I'll change that in a second. But it's just ID. The message we're sending, which is coming into this function already, which we'll send from the UI. And then we get a callback with this. So the callback is just like the response, like, was it a successful send? And I'm going to, I think, just ignore it for now. Because we don't really need to like deal with any error states here. We're not doing anything fancy. But yeah, in here you would get this client result. So almost anything you send is going to have some client result or something coming back. Client result will tell you, all your like common web request state information. And then this message ID is actually going to be the like Discord like Snowflake ID for that message that was sent. In this case, we don't need it, and I'll show you why in a second. But this is literally all you need to like send a message. And a lot of the social SDK is like this, where it's like a very simple call to do something pretty powerful. So hopefully we'll run this and it should work. So I'm going to send a message to my personal account. Oh, actually, one thing that I didn't do, which I will do now, is actually set up the send. Yeah, exactly, right? Uh, I know I'm running, so I'm gonna have to do this again in a second. I just don't want to authenticate again. So we'll come down here, send DM. So normally I like to actually set these things up in the code. I feel like things in the inspector can get a little lost sometimes, but for our case here, on end edit is just basically going to be like when you hit enter. I think it also is when you like click away from that text box. So it's not like perfect, but I think if you were like building something, you would probably like design your own like text box or have your own sort of events that you would use. So I just sent it, and I just realized that there isn't a great way to see that it's sent. Let me try that one more time. Actually, I might. Oh, there we go. Okay. So you can actually see in my chat with myself, hello. Just to make sure it's working, let's send all caps. So it's literally like sending message just with that one line into Discord itself. If I was like in this game on my other machine, it would show up there too. And the way that would show up is actually what we're going to do next. We want to actually see that chat. Really quick though, I'm going to rehook this up now that I'm out of play mode. Send DM. And then a little cheaty thing I'm going to do too is, I forget if it clears it properly, but where is it? On the input field, I'm just going to set the string to an empty string. So once I send it, it'll just clear out the little hack. It'll just like clear out the actual like chat box here. Okay, so now we want to see the chat happen. So the way that a lot of other things work in the social SDK is you get callbacks. So if we look at the Discord manager, we've got the social SDK actually allows you to subscribe one function to a callback. And so one thing I've done with the Discord manager is wrapped those callbacks in events so that in multiple places in your game, you can actually hook up to, say, that status changed event, for that on ready. Basically, there's going to be multiple places where you're going to want to hook into some of these things, and you don't want to like just have one place. So the doing like C# style events was sort of the best way to handle that. And then down here, we've got this like on Discord message created. So this gets called back anytime a message happens in any of your DMs or for your game, in your lobbies, anything you've created in your game. So normally you would get this, you could actually like sort based on like the message ID and then the author where it should go, and then you would put that in the right place in your game UI. In our case, we know it's just going to come from me. So let's create a function to handle this. And I believe it's going to take a message ID. And so up here, all we're going to do is Discord manager dot mess. Oops. There we go. Discord manager, get the instance. And then message created. the event, we're going to subscribe this guy. And so now in here, anytime a new message is created, we're going to get that ID. And I'm going to do another little cheaty thing where we're going to take the chat text and literally just concatenate what came in by doing that. One thing we need to do first, though, is just like there's a relationship handle, there's a message handle. And so we need to get that. And so we're going to do client.get message handle with that message ID. And this is just going to have all that information about the message. What's the content? Who sent it? And I think there's quite a bit more in there too. So in here, we're going to get the author. And then the contents. Let me see, chat text, what's there here? Oh, dot text, thank you. And then at the end, I'm just gonna, so it's a little cheaty just because I'm, expecting, I know who this is coming from. We're just putting in the UI. But basically, again, with like one line, you're getting all the messages pretty quickly and easily. And I think this is all we need to actually see that bidirectional communication happen. So I'm going to connect one more time. And then, where am I? Right here. Come online. We'll say hello. Oops. Tag name is null or empty. Looks like there was something wrong. I think I might have picked the wrong. It might have been like a different. I think it might have been not author, but you'll see that the name is wrong there. Discord SDK user handle is not my name. But now from my phone, I'm typing on Discord and I'm saying hi back. And what's the right thing here? Oh, you know what it is author display name. All right, one more time. So I just sent that from my phone on Discord, and we can chat back and forth. Cool. So as you can see, social SDK is like pretty powerful, pretty easy to use once you've got it in your game. I think some of these like C# and like prefab flavored things, or sorry, Unity flavored things that we put together in this sample make it like super easy to use. Part of the plan is to build out all of the different features in there as well. So DMs will be in there, lobbies, invites, all of the pieces will be available with like the nice UI flavoring, easily drag and droppable into your games. But yeah, just a few lines of code right there is kind of all we wrote to sort of do all of that DMing. All right. So we want to talk to you if you're building a multiplayer game, or you're thinking about building a multiplayer game, or especially if you're like releasing something in the next year. Me and Amy here, who's business development at Discord, we'd love to talk to you about what you're building. Yeah. Come find us after. Come find us. Come find us after. Thank you all for being here. One other thing, if I can request. If you can give us feedback, scan this QR code, go to this link. We'd be super, super appreciative. There's also a way to get in contact with us there. You can give us your information. So if you don't want to come talk to us now, or you're still thinking about things, you can sort of provide all of your info in there too. But we're also going to do a Q&A now. So if anyone has questions about the social SDK that either myself or Amy can answer.
So if we wanted to connect to channel-specific text, you said that was possible in some way?
Yes.
Okay.
So you create a lobby and you can connect your lobby to a specific channel in a server.
How does that work when you have multiple games being connected to? We have a game being connected to multiple servers. You have multiple groups of people on multiple servers all playing the same game. Is that like something that you bubble up to the end user to put in the server?
Yeah, so this is more of like a end user, like I'm connecting this to my Discord server's like channel to persist my guild's chat or
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The other question I had is there a way to do synchronous DMing with people? Like I have multiple DM chat boxes. Would you just duplicate that prefab?
Yeah. So actually, the reason I haven't published it yet is because I want to have like a multiple like closeoutable like DMs. So as you're opening them, you have multiple there. So you get all of the messages through that one on message callback received, on message received callback, and then from there you'd have to figure out which user sent it and put it into the proper.
I see. Okay. So just you do some like personal filtering on it.
Yeah. And so that's something that I want to like hopefully in that sample just do for you so that you don't have to worry about even like routing it to the proper place. It'll all be in there.
Nice. Awesome. Looks great.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. Question about voice. Is there any current or planned support for voice interactions, voice chat? One of the use cases being proximity chat in games. I think is a fun feature there.
Yeah. So voice chat is actually in there already. And I believe it's all like completely open now as of.
Yes, we do have to execute a data processing agreement with us, but it is available.
Yeah, so you can prototype with it, and I think there's like a rate limit that you might hit, and at that point you just talk to us, and we'll figure it out. But it's out there and it's actually working and ready. Proximity chat, I'm not sure.
That's still talks.
Cool. Hell yeah.
I figured you could do something with yourself to
Yeah.
implement.
I assume you get like those audio streams and you can place them in different places. And yeah.
One caveat to the voice being available is that we do ask that you integrate the social features, like friends and whatever's relevant to your team, in order to get access to the voice, because we're not trying to just only provide voice out of the box, but actually provide players that value getting into the game.
Quick question on that voice. Is that piped through as like a UAE audio source, or is that a totally different couple of audio system?
I actually haven't played with it in Unity yet.
Because if it did go through audio source, then the spatial, I think, I would assume would be.
Yeah, trivial. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I'll play with it and then you grab my info and I can text you about. Yeah. Because that's something I've been also super interested in is like social games, especially with proximity chat. And yeah, I mean, especially with like Peak having come out and yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, so it seems like lots of great features. One thing you didn't mention was discoverability. So I'm wondering how specifically this could help make my game more discoverable.
Yeah, so the big thing on our end is rich presence. So if you're building a game, a lot of gamers are on Discord. And so when you have rich presence connected, especially if you're using a lot of those features, if you're building something multiplayer and you've got like invites and lobbies, even without that though, like as long as you're hooking something up to rich presence and other people can see what you're playing, you can actually have like one they can see through that. The other one is like if you do have those multiplayer features, you can actually have invites through Discord. So like they'll have a button when they see that your friend is playing this game. You can click that and it'll actually launch the game and load them directly into it.
Sweet, that's awesome. Thank you.
Hi. I just had a quick question about, I'm assuming you guys have like documentation and tutorials for like getting all that kind of stuff integrated.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, the website was it discord.com/developer?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got the social SDK reference there. Also all of our tutorials and stuff for everything I mentioned, bots, activities, apps. But yeah, we have like getting started guides for the social SDK and basically, everything's there. Reference. We're starting to put out videos around some of this stuff too.
Okay. Do you have like a wide range between like users who are just getting into this kind of thing versus more like advanced users? Is like, what's the selection like on that?
Yeah. So we have, we try to do like all of our tutorials. When we think about them, we kind of split them off into like, we want to have getting started guides for people that may not be super technical, but they're is some programming required for with the social SDK especially. But we do think about that in the way we document things. So we do have like getting started guides that just, help you every step of the way. And then we do have just like technical reference. So if you're already like, using the SDK and you kind of know what you're doing, you can just hop in there. Like, let's say you wanted to look up all the things that a user handle or what was it? Message handle had in them. You can find that information there.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey.
This is really cool. And I was just wondering, do you guys have the voice? You guys have the DM. Is the soundboard integrated as well too? Because that would be really fun to get scared.
I don't believe soundboard is integrated, but I'll bring that feedback back and see what we can do.
Because just a scary game and your chat scares the bananas out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed. Say that. I think I already know the answer to this question, but does it support cross-platform stuff? So if I have people on mobile and people on PC, it's totally fine.
Yep. And then Xbox and PlayStation as well.
Oh, what about XR HMDs? Can you get that? Something like MetaQuest 3 or something?
It is not yet supported here.
Okay.
Is that right?
I'm actually not sure.
It might be. I would assume it's probably like
I think you might be able to wrap the C++ version, but we don't. I don't know the answer.
I'll play around with it.
Yeah. I know we like also officially support Windows and Mac for like desktop development, and like I know people like it just works on Linux too. We didn't like specifically do anything, so it might if you just like try it and see. Yeah, works on Android. Then yeah.
Right. So I noticed that absolutely everything is built around the game objects UI infrastructure that Unity has. Is there any plans on like implementing equivalent versions with the visual element system that Unity has nowadays, or is that like like UI tool, or is that like far in the future for now?
So I mainly went with their like the UI system just because I feel like UI toolkit still says it's not like fully ready. If I'm right, I could be wrong.
As far as I know, UI toolkit is actually game ready by Unity 6.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very common to use
Yeah.
developers still use it. I work on object tools Unity, and we still use it for a lot of our great stuff because all of people who use the tools are much more familiar with that.
That was part of my main reason of using it too is that it's just like it's a lot more like more people know how to use it. I haven't played with UI toolkit yet, but it's something that I do want to play with, and so I'll give you a maybe. If it's easy, I could probably just create like a separate scene or something that has it all set up like that.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Just curious what if there are any plans for support for other languages, specifically JavaScript is what I had in mind, but just in general, many other languages.
Yeah, good question. So this is one of the things that like we do have like asks from a lot of developers for other languages. Even I myself am just like I want a web version. Like we don't have. That's one thing we don't have is a web version, which I would absolutely love. So I will bring that feedback back and try to push for it. But yeah, right now I don't know if we're necessarily thinking about like other versions. But we actually, my answer is it is possible. But like, yeah, I don't truly know. But I am pushing for like definitely JavaScript is one that people are pretty interested in, and I forget what else Rust might be. But yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering if with the rich presence feature, is it ability to embed like a store page there? There was a question about discoverability earlier. Like, can we embed any links to any store pages and something like, because that would be a big incentive for us developers. Like, hey, I can use this rich presence. That's good enough alone. Because you are right. I've learned about new games from rich presence.
Yeah.
But then reducing the user friction to going to the store page from there for the developers. I don't know if that's something being looked into or already a feature.
I don't know. Jamaica might. Do you know if we can add like specific? Okay, Jamaica, also developer advocate at Discord back there. I'm not super sure. I don't think we can put like custom links or anything in rich presence, right? To like say like a store page or a different website or. Yeah.
But I would stay here.
Oh, there's a join button. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, thanks for showing us all the code and stuff today. I think my favorite feature you showed us was rich presence, just as someone who's always on Discord. I'm also really nosy, and I've also wondered how to like show my presence as I'm working on my game, so that was super helpful.
You could write like a little, I've done that before, and I've seen other people do it where they'll write something that their rich presence is like the link to their website or to their game. So that is one thing you could actually do, is like through text, like have the link to your website in there. Not directly a button, but you could write like, oh, this is like, I'm working on this. Yeah.
Clever.
Yeah.
So my question is, I think you showed us today like direct messaging, friends list, and the rich presence. Are there any other features you can put in our radar that maybe didn't have time to show today?
Yeah. So I think a big one that I want to tackle soon is lobbies and invites. And I think that extends rich presence a little bit. So if you have, we handle like multiplayer lobbies for you. So we sort of give you like join secrets and, kind of handle some of that backend for you. Not the full backend, like we're not, hosting your game or anything, but we can provide like the support for lobbies. And part of that is that you get those like invite links through Discord. And so if you have a lobby that you've created in the game through the social SDK, and then you update your rich presence, you can even show like, there's one person in the lobby of 4 players. And then I think you can directly invite people through the social SDK onto Discord, and people looking at rich presence can see it and click the join button through your rich presence.
Cool. All right, I'll look forward to that. Thank you.
And that's all in there already. It's just not in my sample yet. Thank you all so much for being here. Really appreciate it.